Okay, so what is the meaning? What is the message of that parable? Well, I think the message is that you need to have the entire perspective on something in order to know what it means. You need to have the big picture. In other words, you can't just research two things and say, now I know everything about this topic and I'm going to write a book about it, or I'm going to write an essay on it. No way. In order to teach others about something, you need to do research on from different sources, different viewpoints, different kinds of information, like maybe an interview or a documentary, a book, websites, different websites. Okay, so keep that parable in mind as you do your research today. Make sure you are looking at different things. Now, you may ask yourself, but Mrs. Ganzak, am I tied only to what you have on the starter pack? No, you are not. You may use the starter pack and only the starter pack. However, I do encourage you to also look for other things. Look for other websites or documentaries or interviews or books about the topics that you are studying, including any of the teen activists, teen activism as a whole. And so what I want to do now is show you something that a student named Nadal did. This student is doing exactly, or had to do exactly, what I am asking you to do today. So here's what Nadal did yesterday. Nadal took notes in a very similar way to how many of you took notes in bullet structure. And he did boxes, bullets, and bubbles. So let me read his list to you and then his thought bubble. Nadal's notes. Iqbal was 4 when he was sold to slavery for $12. He worked for 6 years, escaped at 10, left home to speak to U.S., 5 months later died. Kids made website, collected $100,000, built school in honor of Iqbal. 280 kids go there, 16 hours of work for slave kids. Education is key to stop kid labor. Here's the big idea, his thought bubble, his connection. He wrote, one little person can make a big difference in a country. And education is the key to stop child labor and can keep the world going. Now, Nadal had other notes. Nadal had notes on other teen activists, and what he did is he took those notes and he did a free write. And that's what you're going to do when you are done compiling all of your research. So here's his free write. And what he did and what I'm going to ask you to do is write about what sticks in your mind about 2 teen activists. And then I want your thoughts about what teen activism is. So let's look at his as an example. And by the way, kids, I'm also going to upload these on our Google Classroom today. So you will have access to not only the parable that I read to you, but also Nadal's notes, his free write, and I'm also going to put a Google Doc on Google Classroom with some thought prompts on it to help you if you get stuck. Okay, so here goes. Here's Nadal's free write. What sticks in my mind about Malala is that she started her cause about education at the age of 12. She wanted girls to have an education because she knew the key to beating the terrorists is educating women. I am also struck by the fact that in the video, she had known that the Taliban had been looking for her to kill her, but instead of stopping her cause or hiding, she stood her ground and continued her cause. She was shot and almost killed by the Taliban. Now, Nadal got different viewpoints on Malala, different sources on Malala, and he wrote long, because he's going to continue to write, you'll see, to push his thinking about this topic. Now, as I continue reading, I want you to notice the patterns that are coming up. Now I am thinking of Iqbal. In the article, it said that Iqbal was sold as a slave at the age of 4 so that his parents could pay off a $12 debt. At the age of 10, after working 6 years making carpets, he escaped. He left Pakistan and came to the U.S. He talked to some local people in Massachusetts to try to help stop child labor. Soon after his lecture, he died. I'm realizing that both activists were willing to die for their cause than letting the problem live on. That right there, kids, is a pattern. He noticed a pattern, and he put that in his free write. Now, besides the patterns I want you to look for, remember I told you this earlier, what are the important things to say about that big topic? Here's what he said about the big topic of teen activism. So my idea about teen activism is that if your cause is strong, powerful, and meaningful, people are going to become obstacles and stand in your way. So that's the start of his writing. So again, kids, today you are going to do these things. Continue your research, making sure you are looking at a broad array of different viewpoints and sources and different kinds of information. And you are going to continue to take notes. As you wrap that up, you are going to go to the Google Doc that I put on Google Classroom, and you are going to open it up and follow those thought prompts on 2 teen activists and ideas that you have about the big picture.